Coming to you from the Radio for One studios in Franklin, Michigan. Welcome to the Detroit Cast.
Big fan.
A show not just free of charge, but free of FCC regulation.
Thank you for your support of the Detroit Cast.
Oh, there it is.
And without further delay, it's showtime. Please welcome the Detroit Cast. Here are your hosts, Mike and Jay.
Yeah, hello, everybody. Welcome to the Detroit Cast, powered by DealsOnTheD.com with Mike and Jay. Shalom, Big E. King, how are you, my friend?
Very well. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. Yeah, it's Monday, so, see the guys are cleaning up the leaves outside.
Finally,
Since
God.
fucking E wouldn't do it for $100.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
I actually drove up today thinking your neighbors have to hate you. They've got these nice clear lawns,
I know.
all primmed and proper.
I
You've
just
got a mess.
I know. I just feel like there's still trees out front that have leaves on them. It's like, I don't want to get it all done and then have two more trees drop a shitload of leaves. What?
Jesus.
I mean,
Some trees just hold like a third of their leaves,
I know.
dude.
I know.
You know?
I know.
What are you going to wait for?
Well, I called them a couple weeks ago. They're just getting out here now. But
Okay.
anyway, it's no big deal. Relax, gentlemen. It's getting done now. It should make you guys happy. Although it probably where your cars are parked, they're not going to be able to get those leaves up. So you're going to have to
because
do
his
those.
driveway is covered with leaves. It's unreal, man. I wish everybody could
Blaming
see
the
this one.
victims.
Dude,
I wish everybody
that
could
is,
see it.
It's a forest around here. What do you want me to do?
I don't know. Rake your leaves every couple weeks in the fall.
Dude, there's like an acre here. I'm not going to do that. It took the last person 2 weeks to do it by hand.
Did you hear
I'm
some
gonna do
big time
that.
blaming the victim going on there?
Well, I'm just saying the
Blaming
leaves could
us
be.
because our cars
It
are
happens
in the
with the
way.
snow too. When you guys are parked there and the plow comes through later after you guys get here, and it's like, oh, wow, that's nice. That's
Such
big
a
pile of
sympathetic
snow.
character you're manufacturing here, Mike.
I know. Man, I just want people to like me and I want my
here we
leaves
go.
done. And,
Oh,
I
boy.
mean, I try to get it all done myself, but
I gotta say, I know I'm not like a man. I don't own a house. I don't know.
not
I'm
at
saying-
all, dude.
No, I don't.
Not like a man at all.
No. But my dad is. He works 40 hours a week, and he gets out there
I
and
know.
rakes the
Somehow
leaves.
people get it done. It's crazy.
Yeah, they do.
Hey, if you love me, Mike, and Ezus as much as Steve Gabarra and the hottest sales staff in Oakland County do, take your ass over to Zott Ford and Holly and get yourself a new or pre-owned car, truck, or SUV this holiday season. As you know, there is no better way to support the Detroit Cast than to support our sponsors. And our friends at Zott Ford were our first. Surf their sexy deals and their massive inventory at dealsinthed.com.
If I understand correctly, we might have a couple grievances in
A
the
grievance
room.
has found me this morning, Mike.
Oh boy, it's not the leaves thing again,
Nope.
is it?
I don't care about your leaves. You
Well,
deal with that.
No, I think you do. But
Well, it just astounds me, that's all.
Well, I would be clear.
everything about me astounds you. When are you going to
but-
stop being astounded?
When
Stop
you-
being astounded.
When you stop being a victim and get out and fucking rake a leaf,
I'm not
man.
a victim.
Okay.
Why do you care who rakes the leaves?
I want to be clear. I don't give a shit that your leaves. I don't like.
Thank
think,
you,
I don't
I
think any-
appreciate
I don't
that.
necessarily think anything less of you for not doing leaves. I don't really care. Look at my car. I would agree with Jay in the sense of when you're like, oh, I don't. What am I going to rate these things?
I've got short
yes.
muscles, and I've got bad knees, and
See now, okay. Now that's where I would have a grievance.
Oh, I forgot. You're 85. Forgot.
Sir,
dude.
thank you.
Ezus, did a grievance find you as well?
It sure did.
Boy.
Did you guys both have grievances find you
Mine
this morning?
slapped me in the face today,
Oh
man.
boy, great.
I couldn't
Well, get
miss
the
it.
clock on yourself. What do we
Well,
got
let me
here?
say this. The rules of airing grievances are simple, and I feel like we should review these because it's been a while since we had a couple grievances aired. We've
Yeah.
been pretty happy dudes, I think.
I honestly think we need to. We've talked about it a little bit, but I think we need to expand beyond just old man pussy and bona fide grievance.
Well, we talked about stolen grievances. We've had Ezus over there steal some grievances at various times, but uninformed, I think, is a really good one. Ezus also asserted uninformed grievances.
What is I'm trying to remember what
It was just dumb. It was
Like
just like, dude, that's not even a complaint. You're just being dumb, man.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
not even anything. So that's uninformed. But here we go. The purported aggrievant shall have 30 seconds in which to state his alleged grievance. At the conclusion of said time period, the remaining members of the Detroit Cast shall pass judgment, as Mike mentioned, bona fide, old man or pussy. That's what we have. And then we also have the stolen. Hopefully we don't have to use that, and hopefully we don't have to use the uninformed.
Okay,
Ezus,
so are
you ready?
those in play as of today, uninformed and stolen? I say they are.
Second.
All right, done.
Motion passed. Ezus, are you ready?
Sure. Okay, I get my grievance is not with ads before you watch movies. I can understand why people put on ads because you know what? We're watching a lot of YouTube for free. But when you go to these websites and videos, like you cannot even help it. Like it doesn't even ask you to pop up videos. You're going through a website and now 5 videos just pop up from different stories that they want to tell you. And sometimes they're not even related to the story I'm looking at. Every website I go to now just forcibly starts these videos going, and I don't want to watch these videos. I don't even care about the ads, but I don't want to see videos of stories just popping up.
Videos. Is this grand theft larceny going on here? I think this is a stolen grievance. In
Do
fact,
you really?
I think that you have grieved this many times.
It's
don't believe
possible.
so.
My
If
memory
not
is
formally
so shot. I don't remember a lot of my grievances. I was going to say, God damn it, I want to call him a pussy and an old man. Like, it's just natural.
But you can't help but give it a
fuck
bona
me
fide.
if
I
that
know.
thing isn't driving me insane.
Yeah.
Every website that I like, every single one, I don't care if it's the Freep or the USA Today, Daily Mail, LA Times, New York Post, New York Times, every one of them is doing this with the constant starting of these fucking videos. It's killing me. Now,
where
if that
it
was my
drops your
grievance,
content down past the fold and then it
dude.
starts a video, it really makes me angry.
it's
Jesus bona fide.
it's infuriating. But if it was stolen, it makes sense that this would be a grievance of mine because it's a great
Well, it just
one.
happened to
It's
me.
great.
And like I said, honestly, you guys, sometimes you even get mad at the ads. I don't, even though I don't like sitting through an ad, I kind of understand why those happen. I mean, YouTube for sure. We use it for free, essentially. But
Yeah.
it's not that it bothers me. It's the stuff that you were referring to.
I get so pissed off. I mute it. I mute my speaker immediately because I don't want to hear. I'm so offended that you're throwing an what is it, oil of Olay or whatever commercial in
Yeah.
my fucking face, and I don't want to see it.
Jesus, let me ask you
Mute.
this. What's the distinction between using YouTube for free and using, say, Freep.com for free?
Valid point.
Why are you okay with
Explain
YouTube?
yourself.
But again, if you said if you notice, I didn't say I was mad at ads. I haven't said I'm mad at just when they just start popping up videos about the stories, like stories that I'm not even wanting to read. I'm looking up one story and it's just like,
This is free, though. I mean, it's free content.
Yeah, but you didn't ask for it.
but
You
I
didn't
didn't ask
Like,
for it, and I
here's
don't even
here's
care
what the
if there's an
Freep
ad,
does.
a sponsor. I'm not talking about it. Dude, if you want to freaking throw a sponsor ad up there every time I go to Freep first, okay, that makes sense to me.
Well,
but a story,
the one on the Freep that drives me nuts is it's like I wanted to see, like, is there any update on Matt Stafford's hand that got stepped on by Terrell Suggs or whatever in the game yesterday? And so I go there and then I start, people are pissed off about Michigan State. We'll get into that in a little bit. In the bowl games and where they landed. And so I'll click on that story and be like, oh, okay, what are they bitching about? But then there'll be like Dave Burkett and some other sports guy like saying they're having the discussion that's in the story. It's like I've
Yeah.
got the story and their discussion. It plays automatically and won't fucking stop.
Why don't you guys mute your shit and then unmute it? When
I
you-
do, but a lot of times it slows down, like being able to scroll. It's like there's so
I
much
listen to a lot of audio
shit going that it slows my computer down. And so that's why I don't like it playing. And yeah, it's annoying as hell, man. I don't know. And it keeps some of my sites. It keeps coming. Like every 2 inches I scroll, another video starts. Another video starts.
that
And
is
it's
what
like,
happens.
I like to watch your videos.
It is.
Videos.
I don't know, man. I'm wavering on my bona fide.
No, this is irritating as hell.
It is irritating, but I don't like how he postured this and starting out saying, well, I get it why YouTube would do it and having to watch the
No, I
video
didn't
through
say I
that.
get why YouTube is. I get it why any person would show an ad. I think there's a difference between an ad and, like Mike described, reading a story, and then it goes in this little box,
Yeah.
and you have to find out where to click it to exit out, and that's different to me than an ad.
And so you're trying to listen to different audio, and you're pissed because Dave Burkett jumps in
I'm
telling
just
you
mad
about
when I'm trying to
the
read it. Here, this story
not?
is how I found it. When I was looking at Daily Mail's really bad at it. You click on one like this, and then 5 different, like you just keep clicking down, and all these videos will just start popping up of stories. Sometimes they aren't even related to the story I'm trying to read.
Sometimes I find it helpful. I gotta be
Well,
honest.
anything
Yeah.
can be fucking helpful.
yeah,
I if you were gonna bitch about ads more, maybe then I'd.
That's ridiculous.
this is hard to defend, Jay. If you're going to try it, I mean, more power to you. I give you credit for even having the balls to take this on. It's very hard to defend
This is how I
pop-up
operate.
ads.
This is how I. No, it's not a pop-up ad. It's a
close
video.
enough. I
It's
know.
a video.
I know.
No, he has made a clear distinction between ads, which he says he gets and he's
Right,
okay with,
right. Okay,
and the
okay.
video,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
video
yeah.
that goes with the story. And
True.
I operate in mute. That's how I operate. And then I scroll down, and if I want to hear
even if
something,
you're
I
in
unmute.
mute, even if you're in mute, the stupid video is there while you're trying to read the article, and then you
And
have
it'll
to click
go
it.
over the middle of the story, and you got to click out of
Oh,
it.
it always goes down to the bottom right, man. What kind
Still
of
a pain
operating
in the
system
ass,
do you have? man?
though. It's
Yeah,
still
it's new, and I don't like it.
It's
I
a
don't-
bona fide minus to me. I totally
Okay.
get it, E, but I'm man, I'm
All
just
right,
struggling
all right.
a little bit.
Okay, I'm going to give it a bona fide plus then, because I think it's spectacular, and it drives me
averages
nuts.
out. You've averaged it out as a bona fide. Look at
Okay,
you.
and dude, the thing is, like, I know those videos are there, and if I want to watch it and go, oh, let's see what this idiot said, I'll click on that video, and a lot of times, here's the other thing that fucking drives me insane. E, I'm sure you've seen this. Jay, you probably have too. The commercial that's playing before my ad, it'll make me watch a 15 or a 30. Those play without fail every fucking time. There's never a glitch, never a hiccup. It doesn't pause to death circle me. That will play perfect.
That is funny.
And then the story will give me 4 seconds and stop for 4 minutes. And it's like,
Grind.
that has happened.
what is
He's
that
right.
all about?
Dude, I feel the same. Pandora will do that to me. I feel the same thing. Like the commercials never freeze up due to lack of service or no matter where I am. And then they come out of the commercials and on those songs buffering. You son of a bitch.
Yeah.
All right, well, here's mine. Mine's simple. I won't take the whole 30 seconds.
All right.
Unsecure garbage. I get it that you can't anticipate every gust of wind, but my God, can we anticipate that putting things out on the curb, there may be some weather, maybe some breezes during the day, during the 12 hours that you have your garbage out there, and maybe it's good to secure that shit. And I'm talking mostly about recyclables. I had shit flying all over my neighborhood. Newspapers, milk cartons, everything in my yard from people's unsecured shit. Come on, just stuff it in there.
All right. Okay, this is tough because garbage cans, for the most part, come with lids. They didn't give us a lid for the recyclables. And so we're left to ourselves to fix the problem that they've presented us with.
Okay, let me
Which
stop
is
you
a
there.
lidless container.
I have a recyclable thing with a lid.
You do?
Yeah.
I don't. Mine's orange.
Yeah,
And
mine wheels out. It's huge. I recycle a lot, Mike. I care.
You have a family of 5. I don't.
I have a bin, like a big wheelable bin, as well as 2 small bins. So I understand what you're talking about, the crate size.
Yes. And mine
I don't,
works
but you
fine
know what?
for me.
Here's my thing, though. Knowing that that's open isn't that even more of an argument that, you know what? I can't leave this out in the elements.
Well, I don't.
For 12 hours.
Well, I will, but I will do my best to put paper product at the bottom, possible blowaway items at the bottom, and cover it with multiple Jack Daniels vodka bottles.
Okay, so you're not part of my grievance.
I'm
my
not part of your
grievance
grievance,
is
but-
unsecured garbage
Yeah.
and recyclables. Isis, I know you don't give a shit.
I don't know. I don't. I just don't know what to think about it. Honestly, I'm not kidding.
Probably 3 times a year, my neighborhood will just be full of trash, just strewn about, and you got to go out. My boys have to go out there now and clean the yard.
You know what? I
What?
would say.
Yeah, my boys got to spend their afternoon cleaning up
Why
the
don't
yard.
they just wait? It'll eventually blow onto the neighbors. And
Yeah,
you're
I know,
done.
just like your leaves.
Yeah, you don't have to
know
worry
what?
about it.
I'm gonna go with Bonafide only because
it's Jay.
No,
'Cause it's
because
Jay.
No, you know why?
Maybe he'll be nice to me if I give him bona fide no matter what he says every single time.
No, because because I really don't have an opinion on it, but I do have an opinion on people, and I think the majority of people are selfish assholes.
There you go.
So
That's
I
what
don't
it
think
is,
that they're
man.
doing it on purpose.
They're just chucking like loose newspapers out in these bins, and just loose light objects. I mean, come on, dude.
Yeah.
You're putting this outside on the end of your driveway. Again, totally get it. You can't anticipate a huge windstorm.
I might give
But
you a
fucking put
bona
a Jack
fide.
Daniels bottle on top of it. Do something.
Yeah, I might give you a bona fide minus because I think your real issue is with Mother Nature. So I don't know that you came from the right angle of this story, of this problem. I will say, though, the reason I find it bona fide minus is because I ran into this the other day when I was driving through one of the streets, and it was like, it's remarkable how much garbage is in one bag. Like, there was a white bag of garbage that had got knocked over. Someone obviously hit it with their car, which is hilarious. I get it, why you would want to do that. Ripped it open. There was still quite a bit of contents left in the bag. And, I don't know, every house for 10 miles had
Kleenex
shit.
and
Oh,
bullshit.
and it's just so
Tampon
gross.
wrappers
Yeah. So gross.
Yeah.
Like, wet paper in there. You don't know if it's from someone blowing their nose, wiping their ass, tampons. Oh, it's just
I know. It's awful,
gross.
man.
Oh,
So bona fides all around. Thank
yeah,
you,
bona
gentlemen.
fides all around. Yes.
Hey, you have an annual physical to make sure you are healthy, or you should at least.
Yeah, I
what,
don't.
What do you do to make sure you remain financially fit? Mark Leibovitz at LPL Financial specializes in thoughtful and objective investment guidance designed to keep your finances in shape. Call today, 248-626-2000. Ask for Mark. He'll give you a free, no-obligation kind of review of your finances. He's done it for us, and he's great at it. There's seriously no obligation. Give him a call. Talk it over with him. He'd love to do that.
Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor. Member FINRA SIPC.
You know someone's good when I had a few listeners that have told me, Yeah, I went to Merck. I was trying to do something with him, and he looked at my stuff and went, "Yeah, you're good where you are, man.
Yeah.
Keep doing what you're doing."
I've heard
Basically,
that from people, too.
turn me away at the door. So,
Yep.
he's not trying to just like take on anyone he can.
Give you a second opinion.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, remember last week, Jay? We were talking about the I don't know why it got dusted up again, but the grab her by the pussy tape was being talked about again.
Yeah, Trump came out and said, "Well, that's not me in the tape, by the way."
Not exactly. It wasn't rumored that he was. The New York Times, I think, had reported that there were senior staffers around Congress or whatever who had heard from him. Like they didn't have actual quotes from Trump, but
Right, yeah.
But there
He
were a
had told
couple
senators
people,
and people in the White House.
Yeah.
That's not me.
Tape's not me.
Of course, Billy Bush has come out and said, "Yeah, dude, it's you."
Yeah, I did. We really need Billy Bush to pen a New York Times op-ed about this.
I didn't realize he did that. I thought he
Really?
was just like on TMZ or something.
No, he did a whole thing. Can we listen to the tape? I mean, is there any question
No.
that this isn't Donald Trump? I mean,
She's still very beautiful. I moved on her, actually. She was down in Palm Beach. I moved on her, and I
don't know
failed.
where
I'll admit it.
Whoa.
I did try and fuck her. She was married.
Huge news there.
No, Nancy. No, this was...
Nancy
and
O'Dell.
I moved on her very heavily. In fact, I took her out furniture shopping. She wanted to
on
get
her.
some furniture. I said, I'll show you where they have some nice furniture.
We go
I
with
took
me.
out furniture. I moved on her like a bitch, but I couldn't get there. And she was married. Then all of a sudden,
I
I
don't
see her.
care.
She's now got the big phony tits and everything. She's totally changed her look.
Jeez, your girl's hot as shit.
yeah, what a nice
Whoa!
job, Billy.
Yes.
Whoa!
Yes, the Donald is good.
Oh, man. Suck at the Donald's
Wait,
balls.
you gotta look at me when you get out. You're like,
Sets this up.
That is
will
very...
you give me the thumbs
We
up?
all agree that that's Donald Trump, right? We don't even need to get to grab him by the pussy part.
Be shocked if it wasn't.
Yeah, that's a hell of an impression. I've heard some of the world's best impersonators of Donald Trump, and they sound more like me doing Donald Trump than they do actually Donald Trump. Most of them are not terribly good. So anyway, yeah, Billy Bush has emerged from the bushes to let us know that was in fact Donald Trump. And so, yeah, so he says, of course it is. And we laughed along without a single doubt that this was hypothetical hot air from America's highest rated bloviator. He's had a change of heart, though, upon hearing the numerous allegations of misconduct against the president. So, there are rumors that up to 20 women have come out and said, "Oh yeah, he grabbed my ass. Oh yeah, he grabbed my boob. He moved on me." Whatever that means.
Moved on her like a bitch.
I moved on her hard, like a bitch. He specifically is referencing this report from, I think, NBC that said 20 women have come out and said something. The country is currently trying to reconcile itself to years of power abuse and sexual misconduct. Its leader is wantonly poking the bear. To these women, good. Billy Bush has got a note to women here. To these women, I will never know the fear you felt or the frustration of being summarily dismissed and called a liar. But I do know a lot about the anguish of being inexorably linked to Donald Trump.
Oh, wow.
You have my
Wow.
you have my respect and admiration. You are culture warriors at the forefront of necessary change. Can I have my job back now?
Can I have any job?
any
Job, please?
job, please? Now, is that good enough? Because I called you guys champions and warriors.
Talk about inserting yourself into a story.
I know it's like. Wait,
You laughed.
I honestly don't blame him for doing this because think about where he is.
I
Think
know.
about what he underwent.
It is kind of amazing that of all people, like to be blown out, Billy Bush over
Yeah.
that. I mean, it does sound obnoxious for that to come out like that, but still. So the White House clarified. Sarah Sanders, or Huckabee or whatever, has had to come out and go, look, the position hasn't changed at the White House. He admitted to the tape. Life goes on. I mean, whatever. So these rumors of, he told this congressman or that senator, whatever. He's got his position. It hasn't changed. If it does, we'll make a statement from here. So it's been a tumultuous year, as you know, for Bill Bush after he was blown out of the Today Show.
Oh, William.
Yeah. Don't feel too bad for him. He did manage to secure a $10 million parachute for getting blown out of his contract.
Makes you wonder what Lauer's going to get, man.
Severance package. I think Lauer's suing now, isn't he?
Yeah,
Isn't he suing for $40 million or
I don't know.
something? I thought I read that over the
Sure,
weekend.
there will be litigation over that.
Wow. Yeah.
Because wait, how many years did he have left? Any idea?
Didn't he just recently sign a new?
That's what I thought. Like a
5-year
25
deal?
mil
Yeah.
a year.
Yep. I don't know.
Well,
I don't know how many he's got left, but-
isn't him suing them part of him telling them, like, isn't he saying, like, you knew I was doing this anyway, so for you guys to sit there and say that you didn't know.
These people make me sick. I would think you would just go, you know what? I'm fucking out. I'm a piece of shit, and You know, I've been making mountains of money. I
Yeah.
never have to worry about money again. I'm just gonna go away, apologize, and go away.
No, the
really,
next step is sue. You get what you can.
God, these fucking people. I wish there was just a giant. I know it's against capitalism, Jay, which I'm kind of fond of, but I wish that just as companies they would go, you know what? We're not paying anyone more than $100,000 a year. I don't care what their position in media is. They get $100,000 a year, and then you know, use that money for real journalists to get on the floor and make some headway. And this notion that Billy fucking Bush from Access Hollywood deserves a $10 million. Think about that, dude. These numbers are thrown around so often that you just go, oh, yeah, well, whatever. $10 million as a severance package?
Mike, you have influence over people.
Fuck.
Tell people to stop reading that shit. Stop watching that shit.
Yeah, well, I don't want to do that.
Well,
I just
then-
wanna stop paying them so much. It's not worth it. It's creating part of this culture. I know it is, but it's going on in radio. They blew out everybody with a big salary in radio. They can't get the ad money that they used to. And so, maybe we'll see that in the NFL next because ratings are down enough and attendance is down. They can project those numbers. Well, where do you think that's going to end? The owners are going to stop paying the players as much if that continues, right?
I reckon.
So I don't know. I just it just bothers me seeing the exorbitant amounts of cash these guys are getting.
So just so we're on track, 4 presidents.
Four
and
presidents.
Nobody in the U.S. gets paid over $100,000.
Well, he said in media, I believe.
In
right?
media?
Wait,
Let's define
what
it.
did You
I
said
thought
You
Hollywood?
said it. I didn't say any of
I
this.
said.
I want to be clear.
No, I meant right there. What did you say when you were
I
trying to
said
put words in my
nobody
mouth?
nobody in the United States gets paid over $100,000.
No, I didn't say
Okay,
that. Shit,
then,
don't put words in my mouth.
Make
you son of a bitch.
Make sure we're clear on this, Mike.
Look,
The
I don't.
Mike Walters
I have,
rules.
I haven't figured this all out yet. I haven't. I have not thought long
Sounds
and hard
like you're
about
pretty
this.
far down the line. It
Look,
sounds
listen,
solid.
look,
at least.
listen.
It's got legs.
I just think
4
there's-
presidents.
4 presidents. I'm on with that one. I think
Okay,
that's
so
a good starting
new
point.
constitution. Got
Yes.
it. Check.
I just think there's a better way. We've created something where when you're paying a guy $25 million a year to be the crown jewel of the fucking lamest show on TV, the Today Show, it's just lame. There's no talent involved there. I'm sorry, but you give him $25 million, it gives you all the incentive in the world to ignore women, ignore this, to blow people off. To
You know what we should do?
So-
we should not only go in as a show and get physicals.
Yeah.
That'd be fun, but we should also take an economics 101 class.
You're right. Yeah. I know.
I think
I know
they'll
what you're
start
saying.
with
I know you're
supply
making fun
and
of me.
demand.
I know you're making
No,
fun
I'm
of
not.
me. Yes,
I'm
you
not.
are. You're making fun of me. That's okay.
I'm just
a big boy. I can
No,
take it.
Just responding.
I
to
just
your-
think there's a better point number somewhere between, I don't know, a reasonable $100,000 job and $25 million
and
a year.
who decides that? The market, right?
You know what's so crazy? No, you're right though, Mike. But some of these people, I don't know
What
know
do you-
all the radio guys.
Where are you going with this, Mike?
I don't know. I don't know where I'm going. I know it doesn't make any fucking sense.
No,
I just think it's
It
absurd.
does. It makes total sense. It's just frustrating.
It's frustrating as
It makes
shit.
total
when I
sense.
see Ryan Seacrest makes
Frustrating.
tens of
Frustrating.
millions of dollars a year. Why? Has anybody ever?
No, you know what?
tuned
Because of
in?
our culture, dude.
Has-
Because people are watching it and they
Name-
are reading it.
Name one person besides Mrs. Seacrest who has tuned into one fucking show he's been on for Ryan Seacrest. Maybe his radio
A lot of
show.
people, actually. Ryan
You
Seacrest is
think
a bad-
Ryan
yes,
Seacrest
a Ri-
on
that's a
so
bad example.
American Idol is making fucking mountains of money. You think people tuned in for the judges, Simon Cowell, Randy Jackson, and Paula Abdul, and then these young contestants, or was it Dunkelman and Seacrest they tuned in to see?
I think Seacrest
Not
is a
Dunkelman,
terrible
obviously.
example because I think Ryan Seacrest is actually a very hard worker and he works on a
Dude,
on his
he's
side.
got a lot of shit. I know. I understand that, but
I'm
there's
not going to argue over basic market economic forces, okay? You can rant, but don't look to me to comment on this. So go ahead and rant. Go, finish.
No, I'm done ranting. You
All
guys
right.
don't get it, and it's just,
No, dude, I do get it. I think it is a lot. It's a lot more annoying to me that these idiots of this
I think
country.
Mike has a grievance.
These-
A grievance is found, Mike.
But I understand that. What do you want? Do you
I
want
should have put you on the
what do you want?
clock.
Communist China, then faggot? It's like, no, I don't. But I think
Because that's exactly what communism, the Soviet Union was.
I
They had
know.
a whole economic plan.
Yeah.
Everything was planned out. People were slotted and how much money was attributed to
Makes
this.
sense.
They said, you know what? We need 1,000 of these widgets. We need 10,000 of these.
Yeah.
It was all a huge, enormous plan run by the government.
How'd
You
it
want to
work out
do
for
that?
them?
Or
You know, you should be mad at
I'm
Mike.
asking you. I mean,
Yeah,
you're-
I think their economy's collapsed, but whatever. No, I think the thing that drives me nuts, like I get why Howard Stern is worth the money he's worth. Like, there's a guy who's an entertainer on a different level. He's bringing something to the table. There's a whole unit there. I understand, but when I see the
isn't that
Ryan
so subjective to
Seacrest,
say he's bringing something to the table? Like, others would say, no, he's not. That's an awful show.
Yeah.
And you know what? Ryan Seacrest is awesome. I mean, it's just,
yes,
where are you going with this, Mike?
Well, because you can point to why 30 million people sign up to SiriusXM, and it's because Howard's show is there. And you can't do the same.
Maybe it's
I just
because
don't,
of Beetlejuice.
Maybe. I just don't think you can say the same thing for Ryan Seacrest going to the Kelly Ripa show in the morning, where it's like, okay, the show does well. It's in a good time slot, and it's a dumb little show. So now we give him $10 million more a year to host that stupid-ass show and ask 3 questions, Nerf tosses to whatever dumb celebrity of the day is on there? Like, it's just absurd, and I don't know why we do that. Why do we do that? I don't know. I know. I know.
Frustrating, yes.
It's frustrating as shit.
Your grievance should be with the sheep of America that are so stupid.
I like it.
That
I'm
tired of the sheep of America.
He's boiling it down.
That they're-
He's boiling it down
they're
for
so
us.
Stupid that they're sitting here watching fake shit where it's like, oh, here's a cooking segment. That's where your your thing should be with. Because if these idiots would stop watching the Today Show is the worst show on fucking television. Stop watching it and watching shit where people actually are trying to entertain you or actually trying to put time and effort in to be funny or make a bit, not just sit there and read cards and cupcake questions to dumb celebrities that aren't even answering real questions anyway because they gave them the questions ahead of time.
I know.
That's who your beef should
You
be with.
sons of
Dude,
bitches.
you're right. You're right. it's fuck. I was looking for someone's name. I can't find it. Anyway, yeah, it's so infuriating, this stuff. But what are they? They're gonna watch something. So, whatever. I mean, I guess the Real Housewives of Atlanta is really good for all of us, and pay them a shitload of money too. Can't stand it. Damn it. Finalist for Time Magazine Person of the Year.
Okay.
What do you think? Who do you think deserves Time Magazine Person of the Year? Oon, really?
Yeah.
You think Oon?
Oon might.
See, I would think this is a runaway landslide for Trump. He dominates the
but
news
they don't
cycle
wanna give
every
him-
single day.
They always say it doesn't have to be positive or negative, right?
Yeah. They don't want to give it to Trump. You take him off the table, and it's Oon.
It's a Times Person of the Year, which they've done since 1927, is given to a person who most impacts the year's news cycle. Hitler's won it, Stalin has won it, among other controversial figures. Trump won it last year. I think you can win it 2 years in a row. So while Oon is an interesting one because all the talk of being on the doorstep of World War III and nuclear war and blah, 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 he's an interesting choice, and he is one of the finalists. I just think, as far as American media goes, like, Trump is like, it's 5 Trump stories and then some dog story and then 5 more Trump stories. Like, it's everything. And even the Oon story revolves around Trump. So based on that, I'm like, well, if it's just strictly about who's dominated the news cycle, it's
Yeah,
gotta
but
be
Trump a couple months ago started saying, I'm going to be Time Person of the Year, and so I'm sure they don't want to give it to him, right?
Well, remember, he tweeted out, Time Magazine said I'll probably be the guy of the year, but they wanted an exclusive interview and a photo shoot, and I said, probably is not good enough. I'll pass. Remember that tweet he sent out a couple weeks ago? So, anyway, so we've got the finalists for this. They announced the 10 nominees. Last year was Trump. Colin Kaepernick.
Oh, of course.
All right. Kim Oon. We got Oon in there. That makes sense. Wonder Woman director Patty Jenkins.
Oh, jeez.
You know why that is, right? You love that movie. She helped create a new female icon for children to look up to.
Absolutely.
Person of the Year, Time Magazine?
I wouldn't have if you would have said that name to me, I wouldn't have been able to tell you Wonder Woman.
No.
Seriously, I'm not even kidding.
They're they're just shoehorning in this thingy. It's just,
she's the only chick on the list, so it's like we got to have a woman in there. Well, how about Patty Jenkins?
Would have been too trite to do Gal Gadot, the actress, and so they go for the creator, the director of.
Would Gal Gadot have been too outrageous? I think that would she's the one that kids are going to look up to.
Shouldn't the real person get this? Like, person who created Wonder Woman?
Well,
that dude,
that guy
pervert
is
dude.
total misogynist.
Yeah, the masochist, sadomasochist, or whatever. No, but Patty Jenkins, I mean, I guess it's cool. She creates this female-driven movie. It's the first to make $100 million.
Here's the thing, though. The story was told in the comics books. I mean, she just put it on the screen, you know?
Anything.
Like, had she written this story, maybe, I guess.
Yeah, I
There's
know.
an argument, but...
Yeah, they got to put one chick in there. I don't know
I
who else
totally
you can
get
in
it.
there, The participants. So this is big. I don't know if this includes me because I was part of this hashtag, the hashtag Me Too movement. So all of us, I guess.
They've done that right before, where they put a mirror on the front on the cover.
Oh
It's
yeah, I
it's
think
you.
you're right.
It's the internet. It's you. You know,
It's
there's-
all of us.
Yeah, they've done crazy shit like that.
That seems like a cop out. If you go put a, the mirror on the front, go, oh, it's all of us. Hashtag Me Too. Like that's just seems weak. The Dreamers.
Okay.
Interesting story for a month or two. Don't know if it's worthy of that.
No.
Very divisive. And then we've got Robert Mueller.
Mueller.
Mueller, yeah. Thank you for correcting me every time I screw that up, which I will apparently never get right. Xi Jinping,
Who can forget it?
Chinese
Him
leader.
or her?
Also on the list,
Their names are kind of ambiguous.
we've got the Saudi prince, Saudi Arabia leader, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salam, and we got Jeff
Nobody
Bezos.
with a bin. Sorry.
No.
You're out.
Yeah, absolutely. Not for Time Magazine. Come on. And then Jeff Bezos. So, yeah, given to the person who impacts the year's news cycle the most. So, you going with Un? Sticking with Un?
You can't go Trump. Like, you take Trump. I totally agree with you. It should be Trump.
Yeah.
But if you can't go Trump, boy, I mean, here we are about to talk about a story that we're, doing. We've got a bunch of the Air Force scrambled right now doing exercises in the Korean Peninsula, right? Mm-hmm. On the cusp of possible serious shit out there.
A lot of the newspapers, I'll say, that I scroll through have segments each day dedicated to North Korea. Like, it's not like a story. Like, they're doing that with who's the idiot prince that's getting married to Merkel or whatever.
Yeah,
like
Harry.
that. They're grouping that in like 5 stories. It's like, boom, here's the prince stories, and here's the North Korea ones, Trump ones. So it's a big enough story that they're grouping them together like that each day.
You'd think like Russia collusion would be, they'd try to
Putin?
posture that into person of the year somehow.
Putin. Putin would be an argument because you could say he infected the election and collusion and
Here's
working
the thing,
with
though.
Trump.
They have to write a story around that, and there'd
Yeah.
be so many holes and so much
Good point.
vagueness that can you really pin any of that on Putin, or just kind of?
I saw Alan Dershowitz. There's an interview with him going around. Who's another liberal lion? What is he? A Harvard professor, law professor?
Yeah.
Smart guy. He's a constitutionalist, right? Isn't he a constitution guy expert?
He is a criminal law expert.
Well,
But yeah, with that comes a lot of constitutional law
Yeah.
knowledge, obviously.
he was just like, because there's a lot of Democrats that are like, well, clearly it's time to impeach Trump now. Now that we've got this, blah blah blah, and he was just like, this is the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
This breaks so many constitutional rules. It's not even close to collusion.
Well,
Even
he
if-
always rewinds and goes, "There is no crime of collusion, by the way."
right.
Number one.
Yeah.
And then he goes, and he's always taking these people to task, like senators who I forget who it was, Feinstein.
Yeah, that's who he's tagging again.
Came
today.
out yesterday or something. We are on the cusp of figuring out this collusive activity.
Yeah.
And he's just like, no, you're not.
yeah.
Like, with all due respect, she doesn't know what she's talking about.
So funny. I don't know why more people don't listen to him when he says that, but so going in years past with the Time magazine, and it makes sense. You got Angela Merkel in 15. That's when they had the influx of 1 million immigrants into Germany.
Dude, speaking of that, I saw something today that they're looking to pay
Oh, yeah.
immigrants $4,000 to leave.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah, I'll give you a check right now, $4,000. Just out of here, please.
How desperate is Germany? I have the story right. It's hilarious. Hilarious. They're offering, so these are rejected asylum workers or seekers who voluntarily move back to their shithole, whatever shithole they came from. If they voluntarily move back there, they'll give them up to $3,500 cash.
Awesome.
Those who voluntarily return are already been offered like $1,000 to $1,400, but it hasn't worked per person. In order to boost numbers, the government now is offering a housing support grant of $3,500 per family.
Dude,
so it's like
just
you
leave.
You go back to your shit box, and we'll give you $3,500 to like rent an apartment or something.
Incredible.
Just get out of here. The Interior Ministry says those who qualify for the additional grant can apply by February 28th deadline, and they would get the money once they get home. Like, we're not going to cut you a check. Like, you get across the fucking border.
Prove you're leaving.
We'll fold it up like a paper airplane, and we'll throw it across the border.
Sweet.
So migrants who agree to go back even before their asylum request, so even if they might be accepted, it's like, if you just go now, just go. Just get out. They've already been
Go
offered
now.
$1,500 per adult, $700 per child. If a family of more than 4 people return voluntarily, they can receive an additional $600. Half of the grant is paid upon leaving Germany. The other half 6 months later, after you go there, settle in, start planting roots in your cat litter box, and then we'll send you the other half of the money. We're good for it. Trust me.
Bad must it be?
The scheme
It's bad.
I know. That's what I'm saying. It's like.
So yeah, they between December 1st, 2017 and the February 28th, 2018, returnees can apply for an additional reintegration assistance under the name Your Country, Your Future Now.
Shit.
It's got a catchy name and everything.
They had a committee. They formed a committee, and this is what came out of it.
They made findings, and they found that a welfare program for illegals or people who aren't even your citizens is appropriate.
They've done the math, and they've gone, all right, for every one of these pieces of shit that just stays here, I don't mean to call them pieces of shit. For every one of these people that stays here, it's going to cost us $10,000 a year in housing. None of them have job skills. None of them speak the language. They keep fingering our girls. They're just a problem. They cost us a fortune. We'd be better off to just cut them off at the knees and just go, here's a check, get out of here, beat it. Hopefully some of them will take us up on it. So, so then lastly it says, so they had 1 million people come in, whether those are migrants or refugees. Only 8,639 migrants participated in the returnee program between February and October, even though there are about 115,000 rejected asylum seekers in Germany. Many of them, though, can't be deported for humanitarian reasons. So even the ones, what is the point of having a rejection policy if you can't ship them out anyways because it's not for humanitarian reasons?
This is a class of people who has gotten very used to having handouts, so that chunk of change isn't going to seem like much to them, you know?
Yeah. How far does $3,500 go in Germany? I mean, can you buy a car and a house for that?
But they'd be getting it in wherever they're from.
Syria.
Money. Right?
Oh, yeah. I guess it would go further in Syria. It's probably true. Anyway, I was asking you guys about Time Magazine, and so some of the last ones will make sense. So you got Merkel, Pope Frank in 2013, makes sense. Obama, 08 and 12. Giuliani, 2001. Those all make sense, right? Giuliani, that seems like
sure.
Probably could have had Bush in there. I'm going to stick with Trump. I think even though Trump has said I don't want it.
If you can't do Trump, like I said, if you can't pick Trump, who is it?
Probably Un. Yeah. Probably Un. As far as like...
Because that's like front and center today.
Yeah, yeah. E, would you pick anyone in specific besides Kaepernick? I know you love Kaepernick.
Of course.
Mr. Microphone.
I agree with you guys, man. I don't know. It seems like my whole life, Un has been something, but it seems like in the last year or so, it's really...
No. Think back to the woman during the debates who asked the Korea question, and everybody groaned. Do you remember that? It was one of the final. It was one of the final debates between Trump and Hillary.
I think.
And she asked about the danger of North Korea, and everybody's like, really get on to something important.
It was not an issue until he took office. And I'll never forget it when we were talking about the other day when Obama was leaving.
Don't say it wasn't. It was an issue, but it wasn't front and center.
Yeah.
It was similar to when Obama chastised Romney for bringing up Russia as a geopolitical problem. And he remember the line, I'm paraphrasing, but the 1980s wants its policy back.
Yeah.
Romney's like, dude, Russia's a problem.
Well, I remember distinctly when they were literally crossing each other in the hallways, Trump and Obama pulled them aside and was like, look, the biggest headache you have is this dude. This guy is a real fucking problem.
He's nuts.
And that was like, I remember thinking at the time, like, wow, Obama wouldn't just say that. We've always had issues going back to Clinton and before that with him, but it's always kind of been backburnered. We made a deal with him and he's going to stop the program. This is going to make everyone safe. And it's like, yeah, they didn't. So here we are, still dealing with this shit that we haven't dealt with for decades. So, I don't know. That to me was the standout point, though, where it was like, holy shit, this is going to be a much bigger issue. And then you started seeing generals on TV, remember? When it was like, I'm sorry, I don't know why we're talking about Russia. Russia is insignificant. North Korea is where your real problem is. And so, I don't know, man. I don't know. I guess he's my Time pick of the year, though.
Yeah.
Man of the year.
Hey, check out the DetroitCast listener business page. It's a page under the Help the Show tab on our website, DetroitCast.com. This page includes businesses owned by listeners. Take a look. It'd be great to support the supporters of the show. Today's featured listings are Arnold Roofing, They give free estimates. They're licensed and insured. They serve Southeast Michigan. They specialize in roofing and gutters. Their end game is customer satisfaction, so check them out. And also Dustin's Mowing and Grounds. They serve Oakland and Livingston counties, provide lawn, landscaping, snow and ice services for both commercial and residential customers. You will notice a difference. Now's the time to call Dustin's and get on his snow and ice removal service plan.
Very good. Are you, as a proud Spartan, Jay, are you miffed? Are you miffed at the bowl game placement for your Spartans?
I don't care.
Why wouldn't you care? It's your school.
Yeah.
It feels like a slight. It feels like a slight to me. I don't care, for real. I don't care.
Yeah.
But having Michigan State, have Michigan go to a New Year's Day bowl game against South Carolina in Florida versus
South Carolina. Right. South Carolina v. U of M. They go to Citrus, did you say?
they're going to.
They go to Outback.
Outback,
And then
yeah.
MSU goes to the Holiday Bowl in San Diego.
Yep.
And that's on the 28th.
You know what, dude?
So Michigan's playing in Tampa. It'll be a New Year's Day game, like
Yeah.
at noon on ESPN2, and then then Sparty is playing December 28th. Those, that's where the Motor City Bowl lands. The Toilet Bowl, all that kind of stuff lands in that week before.
Toilet Bowl.
Before the big games on Jan 1.
You know what, dude? I'm not just saying this, man. Out of the bowl games that I watch, when I watch just bowl games, the Holiday Bowl is always an awesome bowl, dude. It's like, I've always thought it's known for whatever reason. It just ends up having these really great games. I'm not just saying, like, when I just heard it was the Holiday Bowl, I was actually more excited about that than the Outback Bowl on January 1st.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I honestly, I don't care at all. Like, if you're in the top four, you're in the playoff, cool.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's another game, and I'll watch another game, I guess, part of
Yeah.
it at least, if it's interesting. But
There's a reason fans, former players, media were all like, what bullshit. What is this, a popularity contest?
Oh, it's bullshit, but-
Michigan came in fourth in their division.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Beaten by State.
Beaten by State with a worse
State
record.
came in second.
And so you get first pick
That's
of
not
who
what
you're
they're
taking
about,
from the
though.
Big Ten, and you decide, Michigan fans travel better than State fans. I mean, that's what
Here's
you're
a-
making a call on.
Or
Isn't it-
Michigan's going to give South Carolina a better game. They want a good game, and they want so they want the ratings to be good. So next year they can sell that as.
Why would Michigan State not give South Carolina a good game? Why would that? They think that Michigan State's better, would beat them more handily, and Michigan wouldn't.
Yeah, I'm not. I think Michigan State's a better team than Michigan, so I don't know.
Well,
why
obviously, yeah, they are. So, I don't know. I would think you would automatically want the best team you could get there. And so it sounds like a popularity issue. Sounds like you're thinking that Michigan is a more nationally, it's a more popular team, and we'll get more eyeballs then.
Here's what I believe about the Spartans is that they had a shit year last year. Obviously, they had a lot of off the field problems that led to a lot of top recruits being arrested and charged with serious crimes,
Yeah,
and then
rapes.
others leaving. So it was great that they bounced back this year. Do I really think they're a great team? No.
Yeah.
Do I think Michigan's a great team? No. I think they're both pretty good. I think if Michigan and Michigan State played 10 times at Michigan, State probably wins 4 of those.
Yeah.
I mean, I think.
And you could say the same thing
Yeah,
if they
if you
played
flipped
at,
it,
at
right.
Spartan Stadium.
They're about the same. So
Yeah.
I don't really feel like it was like this huge injustice, whatever,
Well, for Michigan State, if you just look at Michigan State's argument, you go, dude, we're a ranked team. They're not even ranked. We beat them. They came in 4th in our division. Like, there's a lot of reasons why, as Michigan State, you go, I mean, because it is what it is. The New Year's Day Bowls are regarded as better
Yeah,
than
but
the
we
Week
spent-
I don't
before.
think they are anymore, for one. I don't think they're
Yeah, they
nearly
are,
as-
dude. Yes, they are.
I don't think so. I don't think they're as big of a deal anymore because of the playoffs. And
I
I'm
do.
being very serious.
Yeah,
dude.
right.
I have
I mean-
I have more of a chance at watching the Michigan State in the Holiday Bowl
Yeah.
than I do Michigan on Jan 1. I
the
seriously
point
have
about
watched that bowl.
the football, the playoff games being everything is a good one, because I think a lot of the other ones on January 1
I don't
kind of
give a
go by the way.
fuck about the Outback
I mean,
Bowl.
Yeah.
I can't talk for other people. I know there's huge fans who sit there all day long and flip around. That's
Yeah.
just not me, so I'm not like the greatest person to comment on that. But my sense is people care about those 2 big games, and the other ones, as that playoff has arrived and is front and center, really take a back seat. I mean, really, whether you're on the 28th or 1st, you're
Yeah.
really taking a back seat. Here's the couple big things that I think come out is that State gets more time to practice, which is great. Everybody who gets a bowl game has that important practice time between now and that game, which is critical. If you miss a bowl, that's what you're missing, and it's a big deal for
Right.
preparing for next year and
Yep.
figuring out who can play. But secondly, I think this just feeds the narrative that D'Antonio has his team feast on every time they play Michigan.
Yeah.
So I think if you're
We're
a Michigan
always
fan
still
and
looked at his little brother.
it's not. Everybody around the nation looks at us as inferior to these guys.
Yeah, second tier to this.
Let's go
big
get
program.
them.
It's
And it
Michigan.
was nothing Michigan did in this instance. They just got picked over them.
Yeah.
But it feeds that kind of
totally.
Furor.
And you can make an argument too in State's defense. The problem is, it wasn't the point. The point is that the better team with the better year, the better record, the rankings deserve to go to this Jan 1 game. That being said, there's a lot of games on Jan 1 being played at noon on ESPN2. There's better shit to watch. December 28th, Thursday night, 9 o'clock game, prime time out of San Diego for Michigan State. That's kind of badass. I don't know how many games are going to be played at 9 o'clock on that
So
Thursday
you like
night.
his argument?
Well,
you made that
by the
exact
way-
same
by the way-
argument.
I know,
You poo-pooed it. You poo-pooed it.
By the way, dude, I gotta
My
say,
my
I'd rather-
point wasn't that, because if you looked at those, I would go, fuck, I'd rather play a Thursday night game as the only game on. I'd rather be that. But if you're looking at, like, what is the more prestigious day to play a football game, it's not fucking December 28th. It's always Jan 1. It always will be Jan 1. I don't care what retard says. It is. And that reason alone is like, okay, once again, Sparty gets fucking a kick me sign stick on their back.
Dude, if I was a Sparty player, I'd rather play January 20th or December 28th also, because in my opinion, it's a night game. It's in San Diego. And dude, by the way, then you get to have New Year's Eve with your family and shit.
I'd
or
rather go to
friends.
San Diego than Tampa.
Absolutely. Well,
I think it's
I'm
better.
not the only one. I got a list of Michigan State players that are just like fucking, just like, really? LOL, this
Yeah.
is a joke. What bullshit. How dare you? That kind of shit. I mean, yeah, they're not thrilled with it. They're not. And I understand why. But I'm with you. I'd much rather go to San Diego.
Tampa Bay isn't that great. And New Year's Day playing at noon. Ugh.
Yeah.
And I think, I mean, you said Michigan travels better than State. I don't know, dude. I'd like to see numbers on
I think
that.
that is
Really? I thought that was a no. I thought Michigan was one of the best traveled
they
teams
will have
in the
so many
country.
freaking people that will go to this game because
Yeah.
the Michigan alum will be
Yeah.
like, well, I get to
Yeah.
go down to Florida. You know, it's a cold time of the year.
My sense is that there's more State alum out there who give a shit about athletics than Michigan alum.
But it doesn't
Really?
matter whether
Yes.
it doesn't
Now,
matter
hold
whether
on, stop.
Okay.
That's a bold statement. Clarify.
That's my sense. Now, obviously, there's the Michigan, there's the Walmart Wolverine aspect of things where people
Here he
just
goes.
where people go, oh, Michigan, they're this
Yeah.
brand with the helmet and all that. I love Michigan, whatever. Michigan. And I grew up in Michigan. Now I'm down in Florida. I'm a Michigan fan by default.
Yeah.
There's obviously a ton more of those people who default to Michigan fan versus State fan. But I think in terms of alumni numbers, I mean, there's a million around the country for State, and people who care more about athletics. I would argue. I don't know how you show that, but I mean, you can look at alumni numbers, but caring about athletics, that's my sense.
Yeah, I always had heard
Because there's a lot of international students at U of M. I mean, I'm not gonna
I know.
Yeah.
turn it into this cultural racial thing, but it's the truth, man. I mean, if
I guess I've never been challenged on it, and I've never had to justify that, but I just always had heard, like, Michigan fans more than almost anyone in the country.
okay, when you say
travel
Michigan fan, that's different than Michigan alums, though.
Well, that's what they don't
they're
give a
but
shit.
they count that into play. Yeah,
they
I
want the
mean,
guy
I know-
wearing maize and blue.
I know,
at their
but I'm
venue.
making a different point. My point is the alum for State are fucking enormous,
Yeah,
and they
yeah,
travel
okay.
like crazy.
All right. I know. Beth's family, Michigan State, and her dad goes to every fucking bowl game, every basketball game that they're in. I mean, he travels constantly, and so I know there are a lot of those guys. They go together, and they, will go to all those games. I can't say the same for U of M. Maybe Matt Riley, but I don't know a ton of Michigan fans. But I do know, like, when I went down to Southern California for the '97 Rose Bowl, and Michigan was in that game, and it was unbelievable. It looked like Michigan. I mean,
Well, dude, they were playing for a national championship.
right, but I mean, the whole city was covered in, like, you get landed at the airport, it was just maize and blue as far as the eye could see. And you're right, it was a championship year, so
A share of the national championship.
share, yeah, right. Bullshit share of it. People are really pissed about the Final Four too. We've got number 4 Alabama, and there's where the problem lies.
Yeah.
Taking on number 1 Clemson in the Sugar Bowl, and then we've got number 3 Georgia taking on number 2 Oklahoma in the Rose Bowl. And people are really pissed off about this because they feel like Ohio State got jobbed, or who was the other one that they thought got jobbed? Was it Wisconsin or
No, it can only be
No.
Ohio State. Ohio State
no?
beat
Southern
Wisconsin.
Cal. Southern Cal. People thought USC had an argument too, even though most people just kind of brushed them aside. I don't know. What do you think of the argument? Have you heard the argument for why Alabama doesn't deserve to be there?
Absolutely. But I can't speak with
Authority.
great authority on this. I mean, I don't watch these teams, so I know what people are arguing. I know that Bama had the late loss to who was it? Auburn.
Mm-hmm.
So you lose late in the year. That looks really awful.
Yeah.
Ohio State, from what I saw, I watched them a couple times, listened to them on the radio a little bit, and they don't sound and look like a prior Ohio State team that's really, really strong. So
Yeah, I agree with that.
just because you lose to Iowa by 31 or whatever. That's not a strong OSU team.
And they say that's the committee could not get over that ass whooping they took in Iowa. The problem is the committee has for so long said, here are the things we go by. It's strength of schedule. It's head to head. It's did you win your conference title, and some whatever. So these things. And so here you've got an Alabama team that didn't win their conference and had a pretty good loss to Auburn. And didn't play anybody, didn't beat anyone ranked over 15. They had a soft as shit schedule and didn't look all that good during the year beating half these teams. They just didn't look like the dominant Saban Alabama team. And so when you the fear is, like, what incentive is there for teams to go out and try to bolster the strength of schedule if in the end it really doesn't matter? If you're just going to go, but the Big Ten got their ass kicked 2 years in a row in these bowl games. They embarrassed us. Fuck it. Alabama's just a better team. It's the Alabama program we want there.
Yeah, I mean, Bama won in 16, then lost in 17. And,
to Clemson.
Look back the last 10, 15 years, and Bama's right there. But Ohio State has been strong, too. The problem this year was, as I said, Ohio State itself was perceived as weaker, but also they beat a Wisconsin team that was perceived as having played no one and was there on a farce. So it's not like they overcame this big opponent in the Big Ten championship.
Dude, the Big Ten needs to change, to me, like
Divisions.
the division, because what's going to
bullshit.
happen is every year you need to even give Ohio State or Michigan State a chance that if they play somebody on the other side might actually be a good team. Like, because
they were banking on Nebraska being pretty good, I think.
Right.
When they aligned
But
those.
still, they look so unbalanced. I don't know how they came up with that. But the argument, though, is for a USC, what is their incentive to play Notre Dame every year? Like, just schedule Akron. Fuck it. Go and blow them out. Don't take that loss that you don't need. Big Ten guys are going to have 9 in-conference games. They're going to beat each other up.
Yeah.
Why would Ohio State schedule Clemson in week 2 or Virginia Tech? Why?
Dude,
just go kick the shit out of some no-name.
The only way to begin to solve this is to expand it to 8 teams.
I know.
Yeah, I'm
And then
shocked at how many people don't want to do that. I'm shocked by
And then
that.
I know people, well, what about the 9th and 10th team? Well, it gets less important then.
Yeah,
and
totally.
it gets clearer as
Yeah.
you expand it out to 8. And fuck the 9th and 10th. Too bad,
Yeah.
That's the only way, because you're right. All these conferences have different interests. Every team has a different interest in what they're going after, whether they're trying to, bang away at really good opponents. Maybe they schedule someone 4 years down the line that they think is a good opponent, and they just fall off the map.
Yeah, that happens because they can schedule years. out.
Western Michigan, shit, that team went from really, really solid last
Imagine
year
if they
to
landed
not
on your
making a bowl
schedule
this year.
last year. It was scheduled
Right.
5 years ago, and they're a 2-win team. And
It's just an example, I mean,
yeah, it's a fair one. Anyway, we've probably talked too much about it, and we really don't even know that much. You know what I mean? I just understand the arguments. I get why people in the Big Ten would be pissed and not have a fucking team represented there at all. I get it. Did you see there was a rally planned at AE? I'm surprised you were not there for
I heard
John
about
Conyers.
I heard about it late because honestly, if I'd
Yeah.
heard about it, I thought I would have probably gone just to see what it was all about.
They're praying for him, right? Thoughts and
Oh,
prayers?
yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Lots of thoughts forever, but prayers too. We had lots of political and religious and civil rights leaders going out and gathering in Detroit for we just have to rally around John Conyers. I mean, he's 88. He's been there forever. We know the balance of the work and the contributions that Congressman Conyers has made. He's certainly someone who has championed civil rights, and he deserves the due process that said by State Rep Sherry Gay-Degnogo?
Sure.
Whatever. An increasing number of members of Congress have called for Conyers to resign. Why would that be? Because he's old? Is this a thing because he's old? It's because he's old.
Or he's black.
Oh, yeah. It's 'cause
They
he's
just
old.
found out after
Both old
55
and
years.
black.
It has nothing to do with every person who's ever worked with him seeing him in his skivvies. That has nothing to do with it. I heard people making excuses for him, too, like, he's got a shower in his office. Most of them do. I mean, people get in a rush, they just kick open the door. What's he supposed to do? Stand there with his bag hanging out. It's not his fault. Lock the door then, dickhead. And how about you don't finger people going down the road, going down 75 at 80 miles an hour?
That too.
That's a problem too. Order sandwiches. She's sitting there in her nightgown. He's in his skivvies. Oh,
He gets mad when without asking, she doesn't just sexually please him.
yeah. Didn't he say that? Didn't he point at it to someone and say,
Look at us. Yeah,
take
what did
care
he-
of this or something?
Yeah, you're right.
So that gay hyphen Dagnogo was particularly disheartened, Jay, because some members of the Michigan delegation did not.
A fucking leaf blower, like right by the
Yeah,
window.
I know. Do you want the leaves cleaned up or not? This is your thing. You take
your
the good, you
thing,
take the
says.
bad, you take them both, and there you have the facts of leaves. The facts of leaves. So yeah, there's you got Debbie Dingle, Sander Levin, Dan Kildee from Royal Oak, and others that are like, yeah, resign, dickhead. And she's like, oh, they don't live here. They haven't asked us for the delegation from Michigan and not even check in with the folks of the district and automatically take the position of Nancy Pelosi is just wrong. And there's also, she said, people are dismayed at the differences in the way people are handling things like Al Franken and the much darker complected John
one can only conclude.
I mean, we always see a difference when the leader is a person of color. There's a rush to judgment. It tells us that African Americans are disposable. And that's why people are not engaged in the political process. We're just used to help carry the vote, and we're not going to accept that anymore. Really?
Just know that all white people are fucking devils.
So you're going to use that argument when referencing the guy that's been in power for 52 years, who's 88 years old. You're going to use, they're just looking to get rid of black guys any chance they can get. 52
They
years.
just found out. They just found out.
He's
I
the
don't know.
longest serving member of Congress, is it, Jay?
Someone just like, oh shit.
He was flying under the radar.
Did you
Really?
guys-
Did they not notice he was black until just recently? Was that the problem?
They just
head
had
of
memos and
committees.
stuff left and right. They never saw him in the committees. They were just memos. Someone finally just had a committee with him. They're like, oh shit, he's black.
This leaf blower could not be closer to our microphone.
I know. He's getting rid of all the stuff out there. This is a positive sign, Jay. This is very, very positive. I just think it's hilarious. Like this idea. If we're going to use race every time when it clearly doesn't, it's not part of the discussion. That's so bothersome. The problem is not that he's a black man. He's been in office in public service for 52 plus years. It's not, the problem isn't that he's black.
No.
And so to just throw that card around like, well, we don't really have an argument, so fuck it, go with the race card. It's just outrageous. Outrageous. It's outrageous. Ugh.
Hey, insurance, we all need it. Most of us don't know what kind of coverage we have or who even provides it, but let fellow TDC listener Brent Wasik from Wasik Insurance Services change all that shit. Brent has over 29 years in the business, at this point probably over 30, and offers all types of insurance coverage: auto, home, health, life, business, commercial, and more. Call him 734-455-1900 for a free, no-obligation quote today. Again, that's 734-455-1900, and ask for Brent Wasik at Wasik Insurance.
Hey, when we come back, we'll talk about the Metropolitan Opera, a big famous opera in New York, has had to suspend one of their, the guy that holds the stick? That guy?
The conductor?
Yeah, him.
The maestro?
Mm-hmm. And then, I was bitching, I've been bitching this whole time, and you keep brushing me off about the Vegas massacre story.
Yeah.
And, what the
Few
fuck?
facts.
Yeah, someone was nice enough to, I think through Twitter, maybe Facebook, send me a story about someone else who's starting to ask a lot of questions about this story.
Yeah.
I found it interesting. We'll give you some details on that next.
The Detroit Cast continues now, bitches. Here's Mike and Jay.
All right, welcome back to the Detroit Cast, powered by DealsInTheD.com. Mike and Jay. I think the lead guys have moved on enough that it won't be quite as irritating as it was just before the break there.
It's quite an operation they have going out there.
Oh man, they're not screwing around, are they? I see ladders and tractors and all kinds of things. Anyway, good to get it done. I mentioned just before the break the Metropolitan Opera, Jay.
The Met.
Yes, has suspended that guy. It's,
Oh shit.
Yeah, doesn't he look like he'd be the conductor at the Met? See if you can find pictures of him, E. James Levine. He's a longtime conductor there. He's been suspended because of apparently some allegations of a relationship with the minors.
Oh, I thought they just figured out they don't need the guy in front going like that.
They don't. Yeah, they don't. But they haven't figured that out yet for whatever reason. Honestly, I wish someone could tell me, like, dude, you guys are so uninformed. That guy is critically important because I just don't see it. Like, these are professionals. They've got sheet music in front of them. They know how to count time. They're really, really good at what they do.
I got in a fight.
Like, do we need the stick guy? Really? I mean, I agree. I like the ting, ting, ting tapping they do to start.
Yeah.
But after that, I just don't know that it's terrible.
There he is, man.
Look at that son of a bitch.
Maybe this is like the Keeler situation where we give him a break.
Yeah.
I mean, how else is he going to pull puss, man?
Yeah, well, he's pulling cock and balls.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, underage.
Oh, well.
So I mean,
draw and quarter.
I
then.
understood where you were going with that because I was on board too, until I read
That
some
ain't
stuff.
right.
He there's been a lawsuit. Yeah.
Is he in a chair?
He is there. Yeah. He's got a seatbelt. He's got one of those things like he's in a roller coaster.
Bag up.
Bag up.
No, is he in a chair? I'm talking like
Dude,
a
that
wheelchair.
that is a handle. Yeah.
But
He
that
is
son
a-
of a bitch, you're right. It's like it comes down like the corkscrew.
Yeah.
No, not like the corkscrew goes over your
Like
head.
the Gemini.
The Gemini is a great example.
Yeah, that bar that comes down over your
with
waist.
the foam kind of.
Yeah. So in case he just gets so fucking animated with that stick that he doesn't fall out of the damn chair. I don't think he's in the chair all the time, because I saw a lot of pictures of him around that age not in the chair. So I don't know.
I mean, here's another one.
It's just a sympathy move or something. Every now and then he sits in the chair.
Well, that's an expensive ass chair. That is not just chair. That's better than Terry's chair.
Look at him.
yeah.
He's like looking for glory and honor. He
Yeah.
has his arms spread. Like, look what I did. Look what I
Look
did.
at me.
I went like this.
Yeah. I waved a little wand.
And then when it got quiet and it was just time for the flutes, I pointed at the flute guy and went.
And when I want him to go louder, I went like this. Open palm.
Yeah.
Just fingers up.
We've all seen Bugs Bunny do this. We know how this is done. So anyway, the opera cut Levine from its schedule on Sunday, a day after a lawsuit emerged that alleges the 74-year-old sexually harassed a 15-year-old boy for 10 years.
So this guy's dick and balls works despite the chair, huh?
Well, I think this started years ago. I don't think this was a recent thing. I think it's just coming back to bite his ass now. The New York Times reported similar accounts from two other men accusing him of sexual misconduct. Mr. Levine will not be involved in any Met activities, including conducting. Whoa. So I hope do they have a backup conduct guy? They have a backup
They have to
stick
have
guy, right?
apprentices.
Wow. I mean,
Right?
they had to point out, including conducting. Like, I know it's bad to not include him in any Met activities.
He's one of the best.
But-
How do they get by?
Included in no Met activities is conducting, which is just criminal for people that want to see this guy swing a stick. I mean, he's the best of the best. So not at all this season, at least.
I wonder if there are opera nerds who could go to a show done by him, conducted by him, versus his apprentice,
Yeah.
and notice a difference.
Yeah, that's a good question. Because if it
God,
was
the woodwinds just didn't seem as inspired today. They just didn't.
well,
They don't play as hard for Jones as they do for Levine.
is it possible that the wood crew wouldn't play as hard? They're like, oh fuck Jones.
Yeah, he's
it's
an interim
Levine or
guy.
bust.
He's an
Yeah.
interim guy. I don't
You know,
have
it's
to
like
answer to him.
It's like the substitute teacher in class that you blow off and you shoot spitwads at. You know.
I asked somebody, I don't remember who it was, but recently I was in an argument about this with somebody. I was like, come on, what are they doing up there? And they were really, really adamant that they did serve a purpose. I'm like, don't they already know what they're doing anyway? Like, you practice
Somebody
all
has to
week?
start and stop him.
I know,
Do
but
they?
after that.
That's like saying Guns N' Roses doesn't know when to come in unless
And a
someone
one,
starts
and a
them.
two, and a
Yeah.
1, 2,
What do you think? 1, 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. What do you think that's for? You could have anybody on the panel.
Who does that? The bassoon? I mean,
whoever's not taking part in the initial note. Like if you're involved in the initial note, there's always someone
So
that's
you're looking
not.
to percussion to handle this,
Maybe
like in
I'm
the traditional rock
What
sense.
if a timpani comes in right out of the gate with some bassoon? Like there's always a
Timpani's going to come in with bassoon?
Why not? But if there's a flautist, or if there's a a string
oboist.
player, an oboist who doesn't come in till the fifth note, it's like you can go a 1 and a 2 and a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then get your shit back up and ready to go by that fifth note. I don't think that's outrageous. We can cut Levine right out of the mix. So anyway, the misconduct dates back to the 60s and continued into the 80s.
Oh, man, Levine.
Levine allegedly abused the boy during his tenure as conductor at the Ravinia Music Festival, huge in Chicago. Big deal. The victim, who's now 48, says the abuse began when he was 15, when Levine was 41. The man describes how he met Levine at the Ravinia Festival when he was 4 years old, and his parents took him backstage to meet the conductor.
That's creative.
Wow. Can you imagine your parents taking you backstage
As
to
a
meet the
4-year-old
conductor at 4?
and then being impressed in any way?
Do you think
Exactly.
Like, wait, who's this guy?
Yeah,
that's the conductor.
These are the parents that would tuxedo a 4-year-old too to bring him backstage. You know what I mean? Ugh. So anyway, the victim, the unidentified man, describes that he met him there, and then he told police in 1985 Levine started showering him with gifts, such as, now what kind of gifts do you think he showered him with?
A what-year-old?
Oh, he's 15.
15 at that point, and this is in the 80s, you said?
Yeah.
Atari 2600.
Dude, that would be tits. Honestly,
yes.
like a
The Space
Rubik's
Invaders.
cube, and if like it's you get the snake, the Rubik's cube.
That'd be nice.
The Marvin, is it Marvin? Was that the little digital one? The ColecoVision, maybe even.
Sure.
So you can play
Handheld.
Burger Time, and then it's like boom, you drop a 2600 on him at Christmas. It's like, no, he was better than that. He showered him gifts like batons.
What? Like those chicks who toss batons?
No. Conductor
Oh,
batons.
come on. That's what they call them?
Yeah.
I thought it was a
Ding, ding,
stick.
ding.
I thought it was a white stick.
Dude, he's
White stick with cork on the end.
he's probably sponsored by some stick company, and he's got a case of 100 of them in his
Ludwig
trunk.
or something?
Yeah, yeah. Ludwig gives him his batons, and now he's just like, kid.
He's got his own line.
He's showering him. Yeah, he's got the, what is it, the James Levine line of Ludwig sticks. He calls him Ludwig.
Sure he does.
But yeah, so he's showering this kid with great expensive gifts like batons.
Yeah. Hey, you can get them on the Amazon link. Amazon has everything.
Yeah, they sure do.
Amazon.
Amazon. There's
How much
very
are
little-
they? $20? Okay.
Wow.
That's a left-hander, though, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh God, yeah, it is. Yep.
This one's only 5. I don't know what the difference is.
So he showered him with gifts like batons, and one evening when he was 15, drove him home. The following year, Levine took the boy to the ritzy Deer Path Inn.
Oh, no.
There, Levine fondled his panus. I know. Does it end there with a like fondling? I feel like you're batting it around, like your fingers
what's
are
the end
moving.
game here?
Like, do you risk everything? I mean, you're a conductor at the Met. Do you risk everything to go into
Levine's penis has to be stroked to completion in this scenario.
But I want to know, did it end there? It's like, I took him to the hotel room, I fondled his dick and balls for a few minutes, and then we left.
You bank that for later? What
I
do you do?
don't know. I mean,
don't understand molestation.
I don't either.
Isis,
Why would I understand it?
explain the mindset of a molester, please.
Is it for bank material? Why you would fondle?
I have no
mean,
idea.
is there more to fondling a panus than we are aware of?
I
Does
don't think so.
Can you fondle a panus to completion?
Yeah, I think. I suppose I would.
Okay.
I would use the word stroke.
Yeah. Well, they chose fondle, and I thought they usually say fondled to completion. They don't use to completion, but they do say until he ejaculated. I've
He
seen
masturbated the boy,
ejaculation,
something like that.
to completion, to ejaculation.
Oh,
I've
boy.
seen that statement in stories.
That's grim.
And so when I just took him to a hotel room, fondled his panus.
Yeah, it sounds like nobody really had an end game here. Like,
Yeah, no one thought this through. It was like, just get him in the room. We'll figure it out as we go. So in 85, he takes him, wherever. 86, 85, he's showering him with batons. 86, he's fondling the noose. 87,
what can you get better? I mean, you've got a whole shitload of batons, Ludwigs, signed by Levine himself. Yeah. You've had your panus fondled, and then
Levine penetrated the boy's anus with his finger.
Damn you, Levine.
Damn it!
Now,
Not with a
that's-
wand, but his finger.
Not with a baton. No, very clear about this. He fingered the boy's anus with his finger. Now that seems downright horrible. Why would you want to do that? If that's-
Jesus. Feel free to chime in. We're trying to figure out the mindset.
gets
Dude,
better too.
I don't know what to say to this. I don't know.
I mean, what I'm trying to
I
think
mean,
what
why
I
are
could
you-
get
again,
like
why are you
like
fingering an anus?
like
Why?
E. If you fingered Jay's anus, like what would you get out of that?
Nothing.
I
What are
mean,
you
maybe
after, man?
for
What are you
Jay,
after?
but what are you
Nothing.
trying to get out of this, Ian? Why are you doing it?
No, you would get nothing out of it. I don't
I mean,
get
maybe
that.
Jay's got sensitive nerve endings and he gets a little something out of it. But what are
Technically,
you
if any-
doing, Ian?
Right, I don't know. Technically, I suppose, I know gay people like that. Technically, if anything, that person would be getting something out of it, and you would not.
Do we know that gay people like fingering anuses?
Well, they like that
I'm
in the
assuming
ass,
they
so
do.
probably-
Yeah, I don't think
No,
that's a
I think
stretch.
they're. I think you're into finishing, man.
Oh yeah, but you could start. It's foreplay. A couple fingers in the butt, and no big deal. It's a starting point.
That's a good point, I suppose.
So at another time, so this one time, all they tell us is he put a finger in the boy's anus, and then later that same year, he kissed the victim's panus. So is that just like a on the
That
head?
sounds very pedestrian. Like, get to it, man. It's taking a
Yeah.
period of years to finish this kid.
Talk about it slow.
I mean, 3 years and all we done is
Like
finger
years
a
of
butt?
blue balls. Let's go,
Yeah.
man.
Is he just like, okay, now next 6 months from now comes the kiss?
Snail's pace.
I know. It's like,
Well, for all we know, and we're getting one guy's story here, and Levine might have a totally different story and go, no, the kissing of the panus episode, no. What you're missing is I blew that guy for 20 minutes.
Full on blowjob.
Came in my face and my mouth. I enjoyed every drop of it, and then when I was wrapping up, I just went on the head, and that's clearly all he mentioned. It's absurd. And the finger in the anus thing was just a starting point. Yes, we finished it. Fondling of the panus and balls was another one that was just a starting point. Because this doesn't sound,
Oh, it's all very. I don't know.
as you said, pedestrian. They said hundreds of incidents. So we've got the dick tip of the iceberg here. I mean, hundreds of episodes between these two occurred at the Deer Path Inn with this guy and the kid. Yeah.
That's really astounding.
So at the same time, Levine would give the boy gifts with an alleged total value of $50,000 and also wrote him a college recommendation letter, which I think is fantastic. Those are not easy to get.
Can't put a value on that, Mike.
No, and if the kid was able to get into, I don't know what conductor school he wanted to go to, but dude, you got the guy at the Met, the conductor.
That's
You
big,
got-
seriously.
You got James. He's
Sure.
sponsored by Ludwig, for Christ's sakes. The guy's a big deal. I mean, that's got to take some of the abuse off the table, just in trade, right?
That's big.
The victim's police statement says he's emotionally, I've been hurt by this and confused and paralyzed. Based on these new reports, the Met has made the decision to act now while we await the results of the investigation. It's a tragedy for anyone whose life has been affected. I agree with him there. He's not a handsome man, and
He's not.
It's worth
Poodle-like
saying.
hair.
It's worth pointing out that he is sort of a travesty to look at, and it's a shame. Don't mean to make light of it, but
Puts the abuse in a whole different monstrous sort of category when you
Sure
have that
does.
poodle dude bearing down on you.
yeah, it's
Hey, dealsinthed.com. They have several dealerships for listeners to choose from. One that doesn't get enough attention is Zott M59 Toyota in Waterford. Yes, they have the same ridiculous deals you've come to expect from our friends at Zott, as well as fully certified state-of-the-art body shop. So get to Zott M59 Dodge Ram in Highland, Zott M59 Chrysler Jeep in White Lake, Zott M59 Toyota in Waterford, and of course, Zott Ford in Holly. Support our podcast while enjoying a world-class experience on your next new or pre-owned car, truck, or SUV, only from dealsinthed.com.
Jay, we've discussed this many times, and I don't want to speak for you, but I think you fall on the side of, look, if it's conspiracy theories, false flag operations, you're not a big believer in that. You think the easiest path is probably the most likely.
Yeah.
And I agree with you for the most part, but you and I have differed greatly on the Las Vegas story. The guy that Stephen Paddock, that killed all those people shooting out the Mandalay Bay windows. And
Differed greatly how? Like, you're really
Well-
troubled by the fact that there's not a lot of info.
yes, and you're kind of along the lines of,
Like,
there's an ongoing investigation.
Yeah.
And so I'm like,
I'm
God,
buying the company line.
is it just me? Because this story seems incredibly unbelievable that we don't know more about this. And someone was nice enough to, I think, tweet at me and say, hey, dude, you're not the only one asking questions. And he sent me an article that happened to be done, I think, on Friday by a guy named Matt Walsh. And so I've got it here, and I'll read it to you because this is what I've been trying to say, but he says it way better than me. So he says, I'm going to break the rules of the internet hot take industry and write about an old story that nobody cares about anymore. Can't help but recall ever so faintly that little thing known at the time as the worst mass shooting in American history. If memory serves, a wealthy 64-year-old gambler named Stephen Paddock murdered 58 people, injured hundreds from the window of a luxury hotel room. In the days after, nobody could figure out why he did it or how he managed to pull it off. So we all kind of shrugged our shoulders and moved on. The questions were never answered. It is now 2 months later, and we know as much today as we knew 6 hours after the shooting, but nobody's talking about it anymore. There was a time when a mass shooting of this magnitude would dominate the news for weeks. Columbine, which paled in comparison to this, was the only thing anyone talked about for at least a month. Charleston, Aurora, Orlando were in the headlines for much longer than Las Vegas, yet there were more people shot in Vegas than Columbine, Charleston, Aurora, and Orlando combined, twice as many easily. Well, I think. Actually, I don't know how many people were shot. They tell us 527 people were injured, along with 58 killed. But were all those injuries from gunshots? Did the guy actually physically shoot 585 human beings, or were some of the injuries from people getting knocked over and trampled in the melee? I don't know. It's been 2 months, and we still don't even know how many people Paddock shot. How is that possible? How could it be 2 months after the worst mass shooting in American history, we still don't have a precise and well-publicized casualty account? It's a great question. Basically, none of the questions about Las Vegas have ever been answered, and they don't need to be answered because nobody's asking them. Questions like, why did he do it? We're told it wasn't terrorism, even though ISIS claimed credit. Okay, then what was it? Was he crazy? But then how did a crazy person manage to orchestrate something like this? And why hasn't a single person from Paddock's personal life come forward and called him crazy? All we heard is that he was a normal, rational guy. And why isn't the media asking why he did it? In fairness, some media have filed Freedom of Information Acts with the FBI trying to get access, but they could put more pressure on the powers that be. But if they actually reported on the story or this question, how did we know he used a gun or guns? But how did he do it? He had dozens of guns in the hotel room with him. How did he get them all in there? How did he set up a kill room in a major American hotel without anyone noticing? How did he manage to shoot hundreds of people from 300 yards away at night? Was he trained? Where did he train? Who trained him? Why did the timeline of the shooting change 3 times? What's the current version of the timeline? First, they told us a hero security guard named Jesus Campos stopped the shooting while it was happening. Then they told us Campos himself was actually shot 6 minutes before Paddock opened fire. Then the hotel told us Campos was shot 40 seconds before Paddock began his massacre. Which is it? None of these? And how could there ever have been any confusion about the timeline? There are video cameras everywhere. Police didn't finally enter the room until an hour after the shooting happened. What took them so long? Where were they?
Why don't you level with me then?
And why did it take them a month to disclose that an officer did discharge his weapon inside Paddock's room? They insisted for weeks that no officer fired a shot. Did they really not know? Or were they withholding the information? Why? And why was a shot fired if Paddock was already shot dead when they entered? And why did Paddock wire $100,000 to the Philippines before the shooting? What happened to his missing hard drive? Did they ever find it? And why did he get rid of it? What's on it? What happened? We're told Paddock had an escape plan. How could he have ever imagined that he might be able to escape? Did he have some help? Or was he supposed to have help that fell through? Why did he stop shooting after 10 minutes? Why did he stop shooting yet make no attempt to escape? And what's the deal with Jesus Campos? Why did he leave the country immediately after the attack? Why did he refuse interviews until suddenly appearing on Ellen of all places? And do we know for sure that Paddock was the only shooter? Multiple witnesses swore that there were shots coming from more than one location. And
I got you.
Here's a big one. Why haven't we seen any video footage of Stephen Paddock whatsoever? This is my fucking argument. Paddock carried out his attack in one of the most monitored cities on the planet. You can scarcely find a nook or cranny of Las Vegas that isn't under video surveillance. Yet not even 1 second of Paddock video has leaked. No video of him carrying the gun-laden bags into the hotel. No video of him checking in. No video whatsoever went down between Paddock and Campos. Not even any video of Paddock as one of the many in one of the many casinos he frequented.
That's really astounding.
We're told he spent a lot of time in Vegas. There must be literally hundreds of hours of footage of him spread out between dozens of hotels and casinos. None of it is leaked. All of it was confiscated immediately. That makes no sense. None of this makes any sense.
It just sounds too exaggerated to the common person out there.
Yeah, see what he said.
It's piqued my interest.
Isn't that it's so out of the realm of normal. It really is, man. I
think it's probably truthfully more a symptom of our media that just loses attention on something like, oh, couldn't get easy answers. This isn't an easy story for us, so I'm going to move on to something that's easier and more topical today.
But think about when we first started doing the show together. Remember was it the Malaysian plane that went down? And CNN covered that.
Around for that.
Yeah, yeah, you definitely were. It was a year after you got here, I think. But anyway, there was a plane that went down, and CNN covered it ad nauseum for 2 months. I mean, they had constant aviation experts in, go, oh, the plane would have been here, and then the currents would have gone this way in the Indian Ocean and brought it back here, and we found a part on some island
Even
beach.
at one point, showing
like,
us how big 50 feet would be by opening up a tape measure in the studio.
Totally.
And showing, now this is how long 50 feet would look in a building.
Wow.
And it went on for weeks. And you know, they still come back to that and give reports because they still haven't found that plane, I don't think. But it's like, you know, this went down to, how was it taken down? Was it Russians? They're doing stories from all over the planet about it. And here you've got the worst massacre in American history. And dude, it's not even referenced anymore. That's just unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Is it?
Yeah, there should be more. You're right.
You come around?
Yeah, there should. And I don't know. Again, I suspect it's a symptom of our shit media just losing interest. And I also suspect that there will be more come out once the FBI, you know, ties up certain parts of the investigation or whatever. I don't think we've heard the end of this, but I do agree with you that the video, the way he puts it, like, dude, other casinos, we're told he's spent many, many days there and so forth. Like, why don't we have more?
And if you've ever spent any time in Vegas, like on the Strip, those casinos are almost connected. Like going from the Luxor to the MGM to the Paris, to, you know, you're doing that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're just walking through this lobby into that one, and so
if you're a madman murderer about to plan a huge assault, though, do you?
Yeah. The other thing people were saying was, you know, I find it really interesting. This guy had this automatic weapon with these high-powered bullets that you know, he had all these rounds in his room, and he's firing out of this window and hits 500 plus people. And yet, when you see him dead on the ground when he shot himself, you know, the famous picture of just his legs. Where are the shells? If you shot 500 people, the shells would be 2 inches thick all over that room, up to your ankles. There's hardly anything in the room. Now it could be, you know, he had a connecting room. Who knows? But I thought that was an interesting point too. My thought.
Yeah, I think that's very explainable, but
maybe. My thought goes deeper than that, and because it's kind of well known and wink wink kind of thing that Vegas is still kind of in that mafia run day. You know, there's a lot of old ties to the mob and stuff that go on in Vegas, and I wouldn't be surprised if there was a lot of payments going off right now to keep because those lawsuits can potentially cripple that city for decades, if not kill it. If it turns out that they didn't do more to act, to respond, and all these people got shot, and, you know, they could be terribly negligent here.
Yeah, there's no 9/11 fund coming to save the airlines, you know?
Right, exactly.
Save the hotels in this instance, casinos.
And so if you got some, hey, Tony, what do we got to do, Chief, to keep you on the, get you shut your mouth? How about I kill your fucking family, or you take this briefcase and shut your mouth? You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, who knows? But that at least would make sense. Where if you scared people enough into going, dude, I'm not fucking with this. I know we're the Luxor, but I'm not leaking that video. I don't need Fat Tony coming after me, because that's the only way I could see where you go, okay, well, you know, if it goes deeper than that, maybe, you know, I don't know, dude. I don't know. It's just it's a shitty story, and I wish it wasn't so buried because it's bothered me since day one. Now, moving on a little bit, Hank Azaria has finally made some comment about Apu. Thank you. Come again. The Quickie Mart, the movie. What was it? What was the name of that Apu movie? I'll tell you. E. It was the documentary, The Problem with Apu. Sorry, The Problem with Apu, that was done by. We talked about it. Harry Kondabolu. Mm-hmm. And so Hank Azaria didn't want to take part in it. He was like, I don't know how you'll portray me in the movie, so I don't want to be a part of it. And so anyway, the thing aired on True TV in November. I forgot to TiVo it, but anyway, so he's kind of making sort of an apology now about it. So, you know, that Apu is presented as the stereotypical Indian dot, not feather. Quickie Mart owner with an over-the-top accent. Thank you. Come again. And so he says, I think the documentary made some really interesting points and gave us a lot to think about, and we really are. To hear that anybody was hurt or offended by any character or vocal performance is very upsetting. That it was offensive or hurtful to anybody. Kanda Baloo responded to Hank Azaria's comments with a tweet that said, "My film was meant to tell you to go fuck yourself and discuss why I want you to go fuck yourself.
Wow.
And how we can prevent future incidents of people wishing others self-fuckery."
Wow.
Quite a statement there, isn't it? He's getting a little puffed out, isn't he?
Sure.
Yeah, wow.
He's showing his green thing.
Yeah, fuck yeah, he is. Dude, that's kind of a shitty response when Hank's like, hey, you know what? I watched the documentary. It's making us think a little bit. We're actually
Well, this guy's not buying
taking
it.
it seriously.
He's not buying it. He's like, fuck off, man. You didn't think this was offensive? Come on.
Yeah. How could you not think it was offensive? They really are bent, like all these Indian, again, not feathers, that they talk to, that now, all these people that, the comedian and Cal Penn from, all the movies they've done, all of them are like, oh, God, every day we were called a poo in school. They hated being called a poo. And then going on early auditions, it was like, can't you do it in the Apu voice? They were asked, how insulting would that be?
Yeah.
Can you do the same read, but do it in the Apu voice?
Like, look, I was born in Kansas City, okay?
Yeah.
I don't do the Apu voice.
I went to USC film school. This is obnoxious, and I don't. Thank you. Come again.
That is kind of ridiculous.
So is Hank concerned about the stereotypes that all these other characters on The Simpsons
what about all
also
the
portray?
Well, when one of them makes a film,
Yeah.
the problem with,
Squeaky wheel.
Yes, yeah. So anyway, they say they were called Apu as children, ridiculed, being asked to deliver lines like Apu. Whoopi Goldberg even went as far as to claim the character was in brownface. And she would know that. I mean, from her boyfriend Ted Danson.
Oh, that's right.
Remember when he showed up in blackface at some event?
I can't believe he dated her. What a weird mix that was. Ted Danson and Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah, yeah.
Ugh.
And he was full on like minstrel blackface.
Yes.
Like it was crazy. She says her reason for saying that is Azaria is white, as is the Simpsons creator Matt Groening.
Oh, there you go.
They're both white. So
there you go.
The guy who does on Family Guy, Cleveland Brown, who's the black guy. Killer voice for that character.
Is he really a black
that's
guy?
a white guy.
Oh, okay.
And he's doing the how you doing?
Yeah.
He's got the full on Cleveland Brown black guy voice, and it's fucking. Look at this shit, dude. Oh, Ted.
Tedley. Theodore.
He survived that bigly too.
Yeah. What was the reasoning behind that again?
Halloween costume or some shit. I don't know, man.
What was worse, him doing that or him dating Whoopi Goldberg?
Maybe they thought it could offset. It's like, yeah, I'm dating Whoopi Goldberg, so I'm going blackface. What are you going to do about that?
Yeah.
You can't call me a racist for wearing blackface.
She was supportive of the whole thing.
She was.
She knew it was a joke or a creative thing, whatever it was.
I don't think these guys. I don't think of Apu as brown face because he's voiced by Hank Azaria. I don't think this was even on the minds of people when you go back to 1989 when these characters were created. It just wasn't that big a deal.
Yeah.
Like Rocky and Bullwinkle and the Russian lady. Like accents, Mexicans. He knows everyone's sister. Everyone knows his sister. Like these are all done by Mel Blanc and stuff. When you're talking about Looney Tunes or whatever and those types of characters. The Simpsons have shitloads of characters like that, though, that are stereotypes. So
I'm sure E could tell me all about them.
he could. So this guy, Kanda Baloo, doesn't think killing off the offensive character is the answer, though. And so he's got a solution.
Oh, here we go.
What we can do with Apu, instead of just like, thank you, come again. He wants to give him some upward mobility. Perhaps create a character that can oppose Burns.
Oh, my God.
Dude, I knew that's where he was going to go. He was going to assimilate him and create a higher status for the guy. I knew it, dude.
He has kids. Just let them talk. Let them be part of the show. Have them represent us. Have writers who can write to that voice.
Apu is on the show. I'm serious. Like, I'm just saying, like, he's not even in episodes that often anymore.
Yeah.
Like, it's not even close to a main character. So the notion that his kids should be, like, rising up to the ranks.
In how many episodes? A handful? I mean, the joke is he's got 8 fucking kids or something. They all have dumb names. No offense to Indian names. Dot, not feather, push start. Yeah, isn't that funny, though? It's like, I've got the perfect names. So what? We need to hire a bunch of Indian writers to write proper dialogue for the kids who we're now going to have a full-blood show for. Stop
Just make
it.
a spin-off of those kids and then let the Simpsons be how they are.
Give them their own spin-off.
Yeah.
Outrageous. Yeah, and where does it end? I mean, you'd have to get rid of the Mexican bumblebee, the stereotypical clergy, the
Yeah.
stereotypical,
Dude, everything, dude. There's
judgmental, clergy,
everything,
like
dude.
every single, the pig-nosed fat cop who likes donuts. Like, the whole show is stereotypes. That's it. The nerdy, over-Christian,
Humor's gonna be great in like
nice
5
guy
years.
neighbor.
It's gonna be great in 5 years when we just don't have comedy. We just sit here and I don't know what it's gonna be, but
It's not going to be funny.
no, hell no.
I mean, do you find that troubling? Like, I've gone back and forth on this. Like, I'm sure we did that to kids in 1989. Thank you, come again. Hey, Apu, what's up, Apu?
Yeah, it's easy for us to sit here and go, get over it, man. But
I know,
Yeah.
but if I moved to India and they had a character that was just like some slick
Yeah.
cowboy hillbilly, like playing a role on their show, and everybody just went, "What's up, cowboy?"
yeah, I'm
Just
not
be like,
saying
yeah.
they should change the character. I'm just saying I can sort of see, how, like, we dismiss it. We readily dismiss this
I
dude's
know.
feelings.
No,
You're
you're
like,
right.
fuck off, dude. It's just a poo. But try
Yeah.
to think of it from his standpoint. Yeah, that would be very annoying, and it is very, very stereotypical.
Yeah,
But
stereotypes are
comedy,
there for a reason.
they are, dude. They like, they're markers,
Yeah.
And when you see that and you hear that, you draw a conclusion,
Yeah.
whatever. That's the purpose of it. But it's made to make you laugh and
And
come on,
relate, as you've
everybody.
said before, relatable. It's made to, like, we all, oh yeah, okay,
Yeah, that
the
guy,
cop
sure.
with the obnoxious mustache. Oh yeah, we've seen that on cops before. We've seen that on those people before. Oh, black people talking in the movie theater. Yeah, we all get it. That's a long-standing joke that
Mm-hmm.
you go to a black theater and they're talking to the screen. Does that make it racist to do that as a bit in something?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, there are cultural differences, right?
Of
There are
course
things
there are.
white people do that black people don't, that Asian people don't, etc.
Have you ever taken offense? And I know, I can already hear your
Like we
argument.
wear cardigans,
Yeah, I can already hear the argument against it. Well, you're not oppressed. No one's holding you down. You've got all the privilege in the world, so it doesn't matter. It's a moot point. That being said, when Dave Chappelle's like, does the corny white guy, and
Chip.
Eddie Chip, and the goofy, stereotypical white nerdy dad. 40s,
Sorry, officer, I didn't know that was against the law.
That and tons of black comics have done that guy. Have you ever looked at that and gone, "Oh, fuck you, man! We don't all sound like that."
No.
No, me either.
But
I know
it
it's
is
not the same thing.
It's not. It's for the reasons you mentioned when you sandbag that
Yeah.
that whole conversation. That's why people come back and they say, "Well, you're not the oppressed one."
Yeah, look, any new group coming into to join the family is going to catch some shit. It's happened to Polacks, it's happened to the Irish, it's happened to the poor Japanese. Oh, the camps?
Oh.
You kidding me? The poor Japs, the Chinamen. Oh, horribly treated. The Italians, like, dude, like they.
See, that would be the
the
art- by the way,
Japanese,
dude, you're making
the
the-
Chinese couldn't leave the Bay Area. It was like, no,
Unless they're building a railroad.
we just have to sit here and cook lots of food. Hope you like humming chicken.
You're making the argument for why America was never great again, by the way. That
No.
it's been racist all along. I'm just saying.
Fuck yes,
everything
dude.
you just
There-
said.
Yes, racism has existed. You know what else? It's going to continue to exist for eternity. This is one of the least racist countries on the planet.
I agree with
But I'm
that.
saying that anybody that comes in, there's going to be, I don't know, stereotypes are going to be born. I don't
There's
know.
gonna be some hazing.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. There's going to be hazing.
It's all in fun, Apu.
Yes, you were the one generation that had to go through, thank you, come again. And now that there's enough of you that you can have legit roles, and we're moving on now.
Hey, got to tell you about the Hamlin Pub. 5 locations: Clarkston, Chesterfield, Rochester, 2 in Shelby Township. Hamlin Pub offers a wide selection of craft beers. Most are brewed right here in Michigan. They have great happy hour specials Monday through Friday, 2 to 6 p.m. Half off appetizers on Monday. So check out all their specials at all 5 locations at hamlinpubs.com.
All right, man. We went long, so why don't we scrap our email segment today?
Sure.
Where can people email? We haven't given that out in a while.
Email at DetroitCast.com or Jay at DetroitCast.com.
Or Walters at DetroitCast.com. I see those. I do. Big E. What is yours? Is it Eric at DetroitCast?
Eric at
That's
DetroitCast.com.
stupid. That should be Big E. But whatever. So why don't we kill it there, Jay?
Sure.
Is there anything else we needed to mention? I thought there was something else we needed to mention.
We're good.
Maybe might have an interview tomorrow. Give you more details tomorrow. All right. Have a good day, everybody. We'll do it again tomorrow. We'll see you then.
You've been listening to the Detroit Cast with your hosts, Mike and Jay. From all of us at Radio for One Studios, thank you for listening. And as always, thank you, Detroit.